Today we're very excited at Nanda Hobbs because we're going to introduce to you 23 works on paper by Australia's most collected artist, Brett Whiteley. This body of work predominantly graphics, so works on paper. So the themes in this exhibition include nudes, of course, because it's Brett Whiteley. Then we've got some landscapes and some works from his travels abroad. Whiteley is regarded as one of the most gifted drawers in the history of Australian art, and I'm going to delve into a little bit about that shortly. But to understand the nature of the graphic works that we have here, we have some screen prints, etchings, and also lithographs, as well as pen and ink. And in a number of the works, there's a collage has been included in the artworks themselves. As a gallerist, it's always really exciting when you have works in your gallery that the last time you had a look at them, they were on the walls of major institutions like the Art Gallery in New South Wales. The thing about Brett Whiteley is that his graphics or his print works are a really integral part of his art practice, but also they're a really integral part of the trading history on the secondary market of his work. So they are incredibly valuable and they have a long history of trading just as the paintings do. In part that is because the paintings have become quite stratospheric in pricing. He's a $1 million artist and many paintings, particularly as Sydney Harbour or any major work by him, will always attract spirited bidding both on the primary and secondary market. So one of the works that I've got here is towards sculpture number 5. It's part of a series of 8 lithographs that were created in relation to some sculpture work that Whiteley was doing. Number 5 is the most sought after and keenly contested of the series. And that's probably because it is the most markedly strong nude. It's incredibly delicate in the way it's been created. It is, as I mentioned, a lithograph, and lithography is one of those mediums that really allows the artist's hand to come through. So all of these marks have been made by the artist on a special stone plate, and then the prints have been taken from. It's an edition of 50, again quite tightly controlled as far as the number of editions that were out there, and you'll see it's signed in pencil and all of that information. There's also the chop of the artist as well. We also have lipstick, which is a little bit more poppy. So Whiteley spent a lot of time in New York and also London, and was really profoundly influenced by some of the big pop icons of the 20th century, including people like Warhol. This one, big, bold, nude, elongated legs everywhere, and then these key little moments which include the lipstick and the lips. You know, intense red that's actually been hand painted in on top of the screen print. The other thing about this particular one is the lipstick is a piece of collage, which is something that ricochets all the way through Whiteley's career, is this idea of collage and reworking and exploring different ways of making art. But all the time, the quintessential thing about his work is this incredible line, and this comes through in this particular work here. Now this is an original drawing for a painting of magnolias, and incredibly detailed line work and the eccentricities of the way he would go in and delve into the minor moments of a still life. And you could see it didn't really matter whether he was painting a nude, flowers, or a landscape. It all morphed and was exquisitely poetic in the way it was presented. The interesting thing about this particular work is Whiteley's changed his mind on the vase here, and you can see it's been collaged over the top. So whatever was behind now has a nude on top of it, and then this incredible magnolia flower bloom above, and of course the hand of the artist. And Whiteley had this great trick of introducing himself into the picture a lot, whether it be in paintings, drawings, whatever he was working on. There was always this component of him being involved in the process of actually making the work. There were so many things about Sydney Harbour that attracted Whiteley: the movement, the colour, the forms, not only of the city, but also the bridge and the gardens and the landscape around the harbour. Lavender Bay in the Rain is more subdued and quite a subtle vision of Sydney Harbour. This particular work here, the fruit dove in Clark Park, blue, intense colour, and you have this movement of the bird flying through, not only the bird itself, but the trail of it going through the trees, and then the look back onto the Harbour Bridge as well, which is really, really cool. And that's one of the things that Whiteley does very well. He plays around with space and spatial forms. Silver Eye is a really fascinating work because not only is it a very beautiful work about a bird and a branch, but it delves into one of the things that Whiteley was heavily influenced by, and that is Eastern philosophy and also Eastern art. Now, part of that was the way perspective could be skewed and how you could focus in on the minutiae of life and nature and elevate it into a higher order. So how many trees do you walk past every day and ignore the fact that there is a bird in there singing away? And here we have the bird becoming really an intensely important part of the picture, and then this beautiful, almost abstract sense of the leaves and the branches. It is an incredibly delightful, and the show runs until the 4th of July. And it's on the walls of our Chippendale Gallery. That's 12 Mar Street, Chippendale in Sydney. So if you can get in to have a look at these works, take the opportunity to see this rare collection all together in the one space.